What the hell are you doing with my car?
I've always thought of the M6 as a two-door version of the M5. But now with BMW's confusing array of Grand Coupes, we have the four-door version of the two-door version of the four-door M5, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
But it is so goddamn sexy.
It is
Who
so
cares?
sexy. This is in a class of cars that kind of came out of nowhere. It's both a sedan, but with coupe styling. CLS 63, Audi RS7.
Yes.
They're not only incredible performance cars, they're some of the most badass looking cars ever made. The M5 starts at $94,000 and an M6 Grand Coupe starts at $117,000.
You literally are just paying
that
for
is
looks.
a lot of extra money. What are you paying for?
Looks.
Well,
100% looks.
yeah, looks, a restyled interior.
Yeah.
As you notice in the back, they call this a 4+1 seating arrangement, which I find hilarious. So you've got to be smart enough to add up 4+1 to be able to buy an M6, but you've got to straddle the center console if you want to sit in the back. But that gives this incredibly beautiful center console design.
Yes.
That extends all the way to the back, kind of like a repeat. It reminds me of that.
Oh yeah, it does, yeah. This thing is an absolute monster from performance perspective. It has the 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, same thing as the M5. This car, being a competition pack, ups the horsepower to 600 horsepower, which is a lot. It does weigh a decent amount, rear wheel drive, almost 4,400 pounds, so it is heavier than the M5. But with the DCT, it's quite quick to say the least. One thing about this car though, the one problem is, given the fact that it is rear wheel drive, it makes so much horsepower and torque, is traction.
Yeah.
It constantly, like just that, the traction light is always flashing. It can't quite put the power all the way down, which is why the next generation is supposed to come with all-wheel drive.
I think that's what's happening now with the addition of turbocharged engines. They have so much power and so much torque now that the only thing these companies can do is make them all-wheel drive. I know BMW probably didn't foresee that or even want to do that. They probably wanted larger displacement, naturally aspirated, rear-wheel drive cars, but because of government regulations and fuel economy standards and the competition, they've got to go with all-wheel drive. But honestly, I think that'll be cool because then you can drive this car year-round. We're discussing what other cars you could get and how this is, in a way, an ultimate all-around car with the big asterisk that if you live in a place with a snowy climate in the winter,
it's not gonna work.
You won't be, it'll sit in your garage.
That's where the RS7 does went out, all-wheel drive.
Absolutely.
But I like this more than the RS7.
I do too.
I think it looks a bit better. It just, for some reason, it appeals to me a little bit more than the RS7.
Yeah, it's funny. If someone says they own a M6 Grand Coupe, which the owner of this car contacted us on Instagram to give it to us, it's just,
they're like, oh, yes.
You're like, okay, that is freaking cool. On another level than the M5. I mean, this car is 4 inches longer, it's a half an inch wider, but almost most importantly, it's 2.5 inches shorter. The roof line.
They all come with a carbon roof, but at 2.5 inches, that's a big
big difference. So
that's
this car
probably why it looks so much cooler.
it's much squattier.
Squattier?
You know.
That's a nice word.
That was not an attractive word for describing the M6.
Squattier.
If there's a synonym for squatty but also sexy, that's what that's what I'm going for here.
This one is one of my favorite color combinations. White with the black accents, black wheels. It is a compact, and it's got some carbon pieces everywhere. It has the carbon ceramic brakes. It was quite expensive when new. This thing's stickered for $147,000, which is one of the most expensive BMWs you can buy.
Yeah, if you get the executive package, which this has, $5,900 option, you get the upgraded Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is so incredible.
And all the carbon everywhere.
Yeah, did some sound benchmarking on this actually. And also they had the similar system in an A8L, and oh my gosh, at that point I hadn't heard the Burmester system, the high-end audio in the Mercedes, but this is well up there, if not better. Ultimate audio system. It also comes up with heads-up display. You get shades that go up and down, so you can block out the people who are clearly jealous of your M6 Grand Coupe, as well as heated seats and heated and ventilated seats in the front.
Really comfortable.
It is comfortable, and also I'm kind of, it's so weird. It feels spacious in the sense that we've got plenty of headroom, plenty of legroom, but at the same time, it feels like a smaller car on the inside than the outside would seem, which makes the driving experience better. And I think that's what BMW is all about. Somehow they're able to make every car, whether it's a M2 or a 760, feel like you're in a driving position that makes it a true enthusiast driver's car. I mean, 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds for a 4,400 pound. Like, what?
Rear wheel drive, 600. Oh my! And it sounds with a full stock wise, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But with some aftermarket catless downpipes and it whistles and oh my god, they sound good.
And even this just putting around as we were filming some exterior shots and Eddie was driving it around.
Yeah.
Low RPMs, it still sounds really, really good.
Now, it doesn't scream like the V10 M5.
No.
But it's a different type of sound, and I'd still like it a lot.
It's a more mature progression and evolution of the previous gen M6.
That's true, I agree with that.
I mean, that's kind of a all-out F1 racing heritage V10 engine. And this is, especially in the Grand Coupe, it feels less like somebody buying a really high-end sports car. You're a classy person if you buy this vehicle. So the competition package comes with 20% stiffer springs than normal, which
I could feel all 20% of them.
You kind of can. I'm in comfort mode, by the way.
Okay.
So it gets a lot stiffer. Put that in Sport Plus. Let's see.
And the road gets better.
Oh, the road gets better right away. But I don't know if I would get the competition package.
It's a lot more money.
It's a lot more money.
And it also, this car doesn't do great on the track because it's so heavy.
It is. The thing is, are you going to track it enough to spend that extra money? Sure, the extra 40 horsepower is cool. You could do that with a tune so easily. The heads-up display is awesome in this thing.
I do like the BMW heads-up display.
It's colored. It's really bright. It says the speed limit right now, what gear I'm in, everything that I need without being intrusive and annoying.
Oh, God.
Ooh. Really nice induction noise. It almost sounds a little bit fake. But
do they have?
I think they have.
They do. BMW did implement the fake audio.
Yeah, but
exhaust or sounds.
I don't really care. It still sounds good.
It's still,
and it's fast enough, so whatever. 7-speed double clutch transmission. You've got a no-cost option, which is the manual transmission. A manual M6 Grand Coupe, that would be pretty cool.
It's rare. I was talking to the owner actually about that. Is the manual just doesn't seem to fit the character of this car really.
Yeah, I agree.
The one I drove, the M6 Coupe manual, it was definitely cool, but it's such a bigger luxury GT rocket ship. It just didn't feel right with a manual. I'd prefer the DCT. And people are going to hate on that, but
I would very much respect the person who chooses to get a manual in this car, but I do feel like this, especially the Grand Coupe, I think it needs that 7-speed. And it is such a good transmission. I mean, short of the PDK or the new double clutch in the R8 or the Huracan, this is like the best transmission out there. It's awesome. And you've got tons of customizability with the driving experience as well. You can control the stiffness of the steering, stiffness of the suspension.
All independently, that's the key thing.
Exactly. How hard the car shifts. Launch control is still like the stupidest thing. BMW, if you're watching this, we love your cars, but please change it to turn traction control off in the highest intensity setting with shifts and all that. Foot on the brake, floor the gas, let go of the brake.
That's not mine. In the i8, it's like that. Sport mode, traction off, floor it, go.
Perfect. That's easy.
It's really easy.
Instead of putting it into all the craziest modes, then turning traction off,
turn the parking sensors on, you set the audio to 16, and
push the lever forward for 4.5 seconds, then release the lever. Why do you need to touch the shift lever in order to launch the car? It's not a manual. It's kind of weird. We're at a red light here, which means testing 0 to 60 in the M6 Grand Coupe. And I imagine Eddie's gonna laugh, I'm gonna laugh, and it's gonna be fun. Oh, yes. Still no traction yet. It was fighting for traction the entire way.
Oh.
I think we need to warm the tires up a little bit because it wasn't pulling as hard as I would have liked, but you know, it's Eddie's. Whoa, that's a house and a half. What the fuck?
Shit.
What the fuck?
It had like 7 garages.
Did it?
Yeah. They're like
and on this
archway.
episode of reviewing the M6 Grand Coupe,
We get
Eddie
distracted
and
by
I
really
go
expensive houses.
try to pretend them that we can afford the house, which we cannot. Oh! What's this guy here? A little storage. That is a really strange shaped storage box. We've got some extra storage here. I like that. That's actually decently sized. And the glove compartment's not bad.
With the floss go?
This car is owned by a dentist, which is one of the jobs you can have to be able to afford one of these. And it comes with dental floss if you're a dentist. I thought that was funny. I'm really liking this thing.
I love this
I am really liking this. I mean, I think if you live in a place where it doesn't get freezing cold and have snow, this is like the ultimate.
Or you could have
driver.
like 5 different cars and this
Well, okay, yeah. 3 is enough for now, but I like this a lot.
A lot. Traction control light is just flashing.
Okay, wow. All right, this car.
Oh god.
That's fast.
Damn, I love this transmission.
Yeah, the transmission's awesome.
This car is sweet.
So for the money.
Yeah, like I was saying, over $100,000 for a sedan, you're into either you go to really luxury route of an S-Class, S550, an Audi A8L, loaded 7 Series, or you go for the hardcore performance, which still has some luxury in it. But build quality, equipment-wise, how do you think this compares to the S-Class? Like
I think this is a good middle ground.
Yes.
And that's because it is so expensive that it's able to do that.
Yeah.
Because of the design language in the interior, this feels nicer to me, a step above the M5.
I do like it more than the M5.
Obviously, it's going to have a lot more performance than if you go a step up, not a step up in terms of price necessarily, but a step up in terms of the class of vehicle, like a big 7 Series or an S-Class. It's a totally different type of vehicle, but I can see them being cross-shot when they are sedans, and somebody might be leaning slightly more towards the luxury aspect, and those higher end sedans also have to compete with having good power too. I mean, the 7 Series has a V12, it makes a ton of power, but whew,
this car a lot.
I like it too. Looks wise, one of the best looking cars to ever be made. I mean, it's got better proportions than an M6 Coupe. It looks better than an M5. And I think it looks better than the CLS 63. It's a tough call on the RS7. That's such a cool looking vehicle as well.
So the way I view it is the M6 Coupe seems to have a little bit of like extra space behind those 2 long doors, and these the extra doors fill that perfectly. The proportions work excellent. It is a little bit longer, but the lower roofline, the raked tail, oh god, it's just gorgeous.
And you don't completely suffer in the back either. There's still legroom, headroom. My head touches a little bit. It's actually my hair, which could be solved by just cutting that off.
Too much whipped cream in your hair?
Too much whipped cream in my hair.
Yeah.
It's always a problem. Damn it.
But the thing with the upgraded LED headlights, I love the daytime running lights. It's
awesome.
One of the best looking cars on the road today.
So there you have it. I mean, we love driving it. The driving dynamics are fantastic. It's heavy, so no, this doesn't feel like an M4. It's not nimble. But for what the car is and what it's supposed to be, it really can't
like
get
the weight to the steering too.
It really can't get much better at all.
No, not at all. I mean, it has all the tech and the nice luxury features you want, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's fast as.
It's fast as F.
Censor myself.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this review. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you next video.
I'm buying an M6.